Thank you to everybody for joining us on short notice. Last week was incredibly difficult. 5 years ago, New York State passed a law requiring MTA to implement congestion pricing in Manhattan. We entered the federal government's value pricing tolling program, the so-called VPPP, and for the past 1,800 days, staff at the MTA and our partners at New York City DOT and New York State DOT have been working with the feds to take all the steps required to implement this groundbreaking program. As I've said before, the governor plays on a statewide and national field, and sometimes that means we don't look at things exactly the same. We are going to do now, and we have to do, an intensive review about the best way to reprioritize and shrink the current 2020 to 2024 MTA capital program. This is not something we do lightly, but we simply cannot award contracts without dedicated funding in place. As part of this reordering, we have to prioritize the state of good repair work that assures the safety of our transit system. This is the basic stuff to make sure that the system doesn't fall apart. This is complicated, but if we are borrowing money earlier to make up for the money we don't have, that has impact on the operating budget because that debt service goes over to operating. There are a lot of MTA employees who are paid in large part or in part out of the capital program. And let me tell you, the priority is throughout that we're going to fight like hell to make sure we don't have to reduce service. That has been an area of incredible progress in the last couple of years. But I have to emphasize we are going to continue to defend the federal lawsuits against the FONSI, the federal approval that was given to us in 2023. And also we're going to continue to defend all the other claims that have been set forth in the various lawsuits. And just a few points of light in a challenging moment. Last Wednesday, in the middle of all the noise, we carried more than 4 million people on the subways, as we have done routinely for many months. What would have to be in the future to keep making progress on state of good repair? And that's even before we think about all the things we want to do, like the Interborough Express and many other expansion projects that are talked about. So we got a tall order, and we're behind the 8 ball right now, and that's why we're taking these, frankly, very serious steps to carve up the capital program and make sure we don't let the system fall into disrepair back into the 70s, 80s.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.